Hey everybody, another live video from me. Just checking in. We have quite a little episode for you guys today on this Monday. Um, Something that I kind of really want to talk to you guys about today is actually with regards to leadership, and especially with regards to what's happening on the world stage today, especially after watching the world come together and in protest to to try to end inequality and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm so inspired by this message. I don't know if you guys know, but my mother, who was actually a political activist back in the anti-apartheid days. She taught me early on in life that life is best served in service of others, and she dedicated her life in service of others and standing up against inequality to a point where she was banished from South Africa during those days, and that's why I ended up growing up in political exile. And for me, that whole idea of inequality and all of these kind of things has been very natural to me. I've always been very sensitive to that understanding because of the example that my mom kind of stood up for and made a voice for. So I'm sure she lives in the U.S. right now, and I'm sure she is very, very pleased with what she's seeing in TV, and I'm sure she can speak about it a lot. But where I want to come from is with regards to our ideas of leadership. Because ultimately, leadership isn't about the person who is at the top and leading downward, right? I mean, we're seeing that today. We can see that in a void of senior leadership, leaders at supposedly other levels can step up. you know. And hey, Elisabetta, great to see you as well. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for tuning in from LinkedIn. Always great to see you. I hope you're doing well. I think you're in Spain. Is that right? Yep, there's just a slight delay here in the answers. Probably a little delay in the internet. That's okay. Um, what I really kind of want to think about is I want you to think about you too, right? Right. Oh, you're in Barcelona. Beautiful. All right. What a beautiful city. I love Barcelona. Uh, yeah, walking down Ramblas. It must be quiet though this time of year. Hey, Mirage. Hi, how are you? Yeah, good to see you as well. Thank you for coming online and being part of this conversation as well. I think it's a very important conversation, especially in today's day and age, with regards to how we want to move forward, right? And be able to see kind of like what who are we and who are we going to be as a human race moving forward? And of course, that's a big question. But I want you to think about this, right? When it comes down to, yeah, I bet Ramblas is really quiet right now. So the idea here of around leadership, and I want you to think of this image, right? Is if, and this is based on a definition from former President John Quincy Adams. And hey, Arnaban, how are you? Great to see you online as well. And what the statement is if your actions inspire others to do more, dream more, learn more, and become more, you are a leader. And that's something that we are seeing today every single day, right? If you're looking in the United States or anywhere else in the world, so many people are stepping up and are inspiring each other to make sure that their voices are heard. And that really truly is the definition of leadership. And that's what we need to see, not just only in political environments or in cultures, but also in organizations, right? There's not one leader in an organization. Every single person is a leader, right? It doesn't matter if you're the janitor or if you are the CEO of your organization. There's a certain moment in your life where where you are that leader, and are you going to step up or are you going to step down? That's the big question. And that's why I always say, leadership's not about doing things right. It's about doing the right thing and courageously doing that right thing and making sure that others are inspired by that. So thinking about this, right? So I want you to think of this great story from 1962. John F. Kennedy, when he made the announcement that they were going to put a man on the moon by 1969. There's this great story about how he kind of surprised a lot of people about this goal, right, to put people on the moon. And think about it. I mean, a lot of buildings those days didn't even have elevators, right? So I mean, just the idea, right, of being able to go into outer space within what, a 7 or 8 year period. I mean, the world basically said, hey, this guy, he's insane, right? And what a lot of people don't know about that is that John F. Kennedy actually had a tremendous amount of resistance from the senators, from cabinet, just raising money to be able to get all of this kind of stuff done. It was not an easy feat, right? NASA didn't even exist those days. And there's a story where one night he was sitting in the Oval Office, and it was one of those nights where he was really questioning himself. He was kind of going, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if we're really going to make this happen. I may have been just a little bit too ambitious, right? And so he's sitting there and he's pondering and he's kind of feeling a little bit deflated and defeated, and he's kind of saying to himself, what do I do, right? Is it I don't know if we don't make this, man, this is that's the end. And so he finishes work at around 11 o'clock at night, and locks up the Oval Office, and he walks down this long hallway out of the Oval Office. And at the end of the office there are a couple of people cleaning the floor, right? Two janitors. They're custodians. They're busy polishing and waxing this floor that has the big kind of the big eagle on the floor, and they're polishing this thing up. And he walks up to them and he says, "Hey guys," he says, it's 11 o'clock at night. Why are you polishing the floor?" And they look up and themselves, "Sir, we're putting a man on the moon." And at that moment in time, right then and there, who was the leader? Right? Was it really John F. Kennedy, who was, with the big speeches and all of that kind of stuff? Or was it the two custodians who so deeply believed in this mission and truly understood that their role in this mission was by keeping this floor crystal clean? And to me, that is what leadership really is. Right? Leadership's not about being at the top and being able to dictate people where we're going and vision, all of that kind of stuff. It's through our actions, our courageous actions, our dedication to that mission, that we can inspire and motivate others to also want to do better. And ultimately, that's what we are seeing in today's world. Is we're seeing this manifestation, right, of leadership coming from the people. And everywhere around the world, people are standing up and they're letting their voices be heard and they're taking action. And ultimately, that's also what we want in corporations. Don't just sit around and wait for senior leadership to dictate downward and say, "Hey, this is what we're going to do." Stand up, make a point, be heard, dare to speak up and to say, "You know what? This is what I think is right. And this is what I want to act on." Because that is what creates progress. And you will be astounded by the amount of people who are willing to listen to that form of inspiration. So don't only expect leadership from the top, lead from the bottom. And what I feel is the most powerful form of leadership is actually not leadership, or not necessarily coined as leadership. It really is what we call followership. The ability to be able to say, you know what, you have a good point. This is something that we really need to work on. It doesn't have to be my idea, but I think your idea is so good, I'm going to help you. And by being committed to another person's mission, another person's vision, and following through, committing to that mission, we can also inspire others to want to join. That is what's happened today in the world at this moment in time. What we're seeing out there in the world isn't just about great leadership, it's also about great followership. We're seeing people following from the ground up, but we're also seeing people starting to follow from the top down. People in high levels of government are allowing themselves to be led by their people. And that is a beautiful thing, because that's when voices get heard and people can work together and come together to create amazing things in life. And in this COVID world, and especially in this post-COVID pandemic world that we're moving towards, we have to ask ourselves this question. What do we want this future world to be? Do we really want this world to be the same as it was 6 months ago? Or are we in this beautiful opportunity to be able to say, I'm going to do things differently. I have this opportunity today to move in a different direction. All we need to do is to have that courage to speak up and to say, you know what, people, let's look at how we can apply ourselves differently. Let's look at how we can make a change, not from the top down, but from the bottom up. Let's look at how we can speak up, and let's look at how we can inspire our senior leadership to also become followers at the appropriate moment. And when everybody can come together and create a consensus about what is that better world, or what is that better company or organization going to look like, that's when we create greatness. Guys, this is your moment. This is the moment to be able to do that. Let's use this moment for the best way possible. And let's create some solid, some great foundational change that we can really do something positive with. Let's change this world together. And guys, that's all from me today. I hope you enjoyed this little conversation. And if you ever have any questions, or you have any topics that you want to discuss, I am going to be live every single day. Just shoot me a personal message. Visit my website, marceldaane.com, or go to my other website, headstrongperformance.net, which is my company. And feel free to reach out and connect with me and tell me what you want to talk about. Because it's together that we can create these great conversations. And let's create conversation around how we can create positive change in this world by being inspirational leaders. And guys, that's all for me today. I want to thank you so much for chiming in and listening, and especially to my friends and connections on LinkedIn. So great to see you all online, and I hope to see you online again tomorrow. All right, I'll see you. Thank you. Bye-bye.